Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change a water pump on a Saturn S series, and we're going to be using this 2001 Saturn with 1.9 liter. Now it's no secret there's a limited amount of space to work on these vehicles, so we're going to use every advantage we can get. So we're going to go through under the hood, and then we're also going to take this tire off on the passenger side, remove the splash guard, and use every amount of space that we can use to make this easier. Now what we're going to do here is remove the bolts in the pulley so we can get the pulley off. So the first thing we want to do before we take the belt off, we're going to use the tension of the belt to our advantage to help us break loose these bolts. Now I'm going to use a 10mm ratchet wrench to make it a little easier on myself. Now sometimes they're going to be stubborn. You're going to have to try to reach up in here and hold it with one hand and put the ratchet on the other hand, or your wrench, and then try to break it loose. So we're going to take our time, hang on to the best we can, break them loose. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take a 14mm wrench on our belt tensioner, belt off around the crank and the pulley, and there we go. Now because of lack of space, this can be kind of a trick sometimes. Now all we gotta do is take our 10mm and loosen all our bolts around the water pump. Now if you have a non-AC car, this is a lot easier, but with an AC car, there's a lot less space to work with, especially up top while you're trying to get the top upper bolts out. It just fell out. We had enough room for it to come out. Now sometimes it can be a problem getting it out because of lack of clearance, but this one just fell out. So now we're going to clean our surface off and prepare it for the new gasket. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of the silicone just to hold the gasket in place. That way it doesn't fall off and move around while we're trying to reach our hand up in there and get that pump up in place. Now we can easily put the new one in. Just going back up through here and just make sure all the bolt holes are lined up. So start off by snugging them all in a crisscross pattern. Now there's two here that may be easier to get up top. Now if you have a non-AC car, this would be a lot easier. But for those that have the AC, you can see I got a bolt here and another bolt back there under the compressor pulley. Okay, we got them all snug, so we're going to tighten them down generously in a crisscross pattern. And again, remember not to tighten too tight, so we don't want to damage anything. Now where we had our pulley, we was able to slide it over, so now we'll just stick it on there. Get our bolt started. Now we're going to put our belt back on, and this is a good time to replace your belt if need be. So again, we're going to take our 14mm, put it on the tensioner. Now let's make sure you got everything back where it's supposed to go. Make sure everything's back in line before you get too far. Make sure everything's on there good, everything's in the screws. Double check, make sure there's nothing off. And now that we have the belt back on, we can go back over and make sure all these bolts are good and tight. And the good thing is it does slip a little bit on the belt when you got a wrench, so you can turn it around and get to it every bolt. So make sure everything's good and tight before you finish it off. Then we're going to put the wheel and tire back on after we put the splash shield back on. And then we will fill it up with antifreeze and water. This water pump change is typically costly in a shop due to the fact that it's a small work environment under there and they tend to charge a lot for that. But I hope this video helps all you out and shows you that you can do it yourself and save a lot of money, considering the pump I bought was rebuilt off Summit Racing for $16. Now that's cheap. And then it was roughly $14 for full strength antifreeze, which I diluted myself. So that $30, $35 after tax is a lot cheaper than taking this shop, and I hope this helped you out and show you how to do it yourself, help you out doing it yourself, and save you time and money. And as always, thanks for watching.